My aunt transferred the deed to my grandfather's house into her name and held a party, saying, "She'll never fight back." So I showed up with a lawyer, and the look on her face was priceless because my grandfather owned a house in Chesapeake, Virginia. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't special to anyone but us. It was a small single-story home with a cracked driveway, rust stains on the siding, and one of those screen doors that slapped when it closed. He built that house himself back in the day. I helped him patch that roof more times than I can count. I knew every creaky floorboard. I knew how to jiggle the handle just right to get the front door to lock. That place was more than a house. It was him. He raised his kids there, including my mom and her sister, Beverly. And when everyone else moved on, I stayed around. I didn't live with him full-time, but I was the one who checked in every weekend, brought groceries, changed light bulbs, made sure the heater worked in the winter. I was the one driving him to the VA hospital when his knees got bad. I was the one who helped him when he started forgetting things. Beverly didn't do any of that. Beverly lived 2 hours away in Richmond. She showed up maybe twice a year. Thanksgiving and Christmas, mostly. Always dressed like she had somewhere better to be. Always talked like we were on a countdown clock before she had to leave. She'd show up, take a few selfies with Grandpa smiling confusedly in the background, post them with hashtags like #FamilyTime or #grateful, then dip. Never stayed the night. Never washed a dish. Never offered to pick up meds or take him to the doctor. When he passed, I was the one who found him. Quiet, peaceful, in his chair with the TV on. I made the calls. I handled the funeral. She didn't even help pick the flowers. Just showed up late in a black suit and sunglasses like she was posing for a courtroom sketch. Now here's where it gets ugly. My grandfather left a will. He left the house to me. It was clear. Signed. Dated. Notarized. Said he wanted me to have it because I took care of him when no one else did. I didn't ask for it. I never expected anything. But when I found out, it meant something. It meant he saw me. I started the probate process the week after the funeral. Lawyer helped me file everything. But then I get a call on a random Tuesday morning from the lawyer. "There's a problem with the title," she said. "It's not in his name anymore." I thought it was a mistake. It wasn't. For months before he died, the deed to the house had been transferred to Beverly's name. Quietly. No announcement. No phone call. She never told anyone. She did it through a power of attorney she got him to sign 2 years earlier. 2 years ago, he was already showing signs of confusion. We thought it was just old age at first. But he once called me 4 times in one day asking if the pharmacy was closed on Sundays. He started leaving the stove on. He once put his glasses in the freezer. I have no idea how she got him to sign legal documents. Turns out she waited until he got sick with pneumonia and was in the hospital. She came down, waved her financial success around, brought papers, and somehow got him to sign over a durable POA. Just like that. And she used that to transfer the deed. We never knew. Not until it was too late. She waited until after he died. Waited until we buried him. Then she held a party. A literal backyard celebration. Invited friends, coworkers, her yoga instructor. Rented one of those giant white tents, had music, lights, even someone walking around with champagne on a tray. She posted pictures all over Facebook. Said it was her new beginning. One of the photos had the caption, "So grateful to be home." Someone in the family sent me a screenshot of a comment she left on someone's post. My niece thinks she was getting the house. LMAO. She'll never fight back. She said it like I was weak. Like I'd let it go. Like I was stupid. So I called Beth. Beth was my friend from college. She's a lawyer now, mostly elder law and estate stuff. I told her everything. I was so angry my hands were shaking on the phone. She told me to calm down and start sending her everything I had. The will. Emails. Photos. Texts. I even had voicemails from Grandpa where he talked about my house and when you move in. Every little thing. Beth dug in deep. Found out the notary who signed the POA was one of Beverly's old high school friends. Not even a real estate professional. Just some friend with a stamp. She got statements from the pharmacy, doctor's visits, even the Meals on Wheels volunteer who said Grandpa once called her Margaret for an entire conversation. Her name is Diane. We built a case. Took months. While we were building it, Beverly started changing things. She gutted the kitchen. Put granite in. New floors. Painted the outside gray with white trim. I hated it. It didn't even look like Grandpa's house anymore. She was erasing him. Then she threw another party. This one was a thank you party for her supporters. She had flyers. Streamers. Her name on one of those boards you see at weddings. Welcome to Beverly's bungalow. That's what she called it. I called Beth. We had the papers ready. Civil suit. Petition to void the POA and reverse the deed transfer on grounds of elder exploitation and undue influence. We were filing that day. But I told her I wanted to serve Beverly in person. At her own party. In front of her guests. Beth said, "You sure?" I was. We showed up mid-afternoon. She was in the backyard laughing with a wine glass in her hand. Her hair was curled like she was hosting the Oscars. She didn't even notice me at first. I walked in like I belonged there. Beth was behind me with a manila folder. I stood there. She turned around. Her face dropped like a curtain being pulled. She froze. Beth handed her the folder. Beverly tried to smile like nothing was happening, then read the top page and her face twisted. "What is this?" "You've been served. You can't do this here. You live here, right? You put that on the invite." She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. A few guests were watching. Someone asked what was going on. Beverly just walked away, clutching the folder like it was going to explode. She called me 3 times that night. I didn't answer. She emailed me, "Why are you doing this?" I replied with a screenshot of her Facebook comment. 8 months. That's how long the case took. She fought hard. Claimed Grandpa was of sound mind. Claimed I was manipulating him. Claimed I was brainwashing him. She dragged 2 of her friends into court who said they saw Grandpa sign everything himself and seemed alert. They both looked uncomfortable on the stand. One of them even slipped and said, "Beverly told me what to say." We had doctors, nurses, neighbors. Statements. Texts. Videos. Medical records. The judge took one look at the timeline and said, "This reeks of manipulation. POA, invalid. Deed transfer, reversed." She was told to leave the house in 30 days. I gave her 45. I didn't want to be like her. But I changed the locks the day after she left. She left behind one thing. A silver-framed photo of herself next to Grandpa. I threw it in the trash. No ending yet. Because she's not done. She posted a Craigslist ad claiming the house was for sale by owner a month later. She also emailed me a copy of a new will she says Grandpa signed a week before he died. I'm not stupid. That signature? Crooked. Spelling errors. Wrong format. Wrong notary. After I changed the locks and made sure the title was legally back in my name, I thought it might finally be over. I was wrong. 3 weeks later, I got a knock on the front door. Not a loud one, just a short, polite set of taps. I figured it was a neighbor. I opened the door and it was a man in a blazer, holding a clipboard. "Hi, I'm here for the open house." I stared at him. "What?" He looked confused. Checked his phone. "This is 302, Briarwood Lane, right?" "Yeah." Listed on Craigslist. Said open house today from noon to 3. There was no open house. There was no listing. Not for me, anyway. I told the guy there was a mistake and closed the door, but I was already pulling out my phone. Craigslist. Real estate listings. And sure enough, there it was. Charming single-family home. Motivated seller. Available immediately. Photos of my grandfather's house before Beverly redecorated it. Before the new floors. These were old photos. From 2 years ago. She had to have saved them from when we talked about maybe listing it for a week before Grandpa got sick. She used my own photos. Cropped out the watermarks. Claimed to be the owner. The contact email on the post? Beverly_C_realestate@gmail.com. I reported the post, flagged it, emailed Craigslist support with proof that it was fraud. Then I messaged the email directly. Me. Take the listing down. Her. I'm just trying to recoup my investment. Don't be spiteful. She thought she was owed something. Like her time decorating the house gave her ownership. Like painting the walls gray made her the queen of the land. I called Beth again. We sent a cease and desist letter. Had it delivered by courier. But Beverly didn't stop. Instead, she dropped the big one. She emailed me a PDF titled, Grandpa Will 2022_final. Yes, in all caps. The subject line said, Grandpa's real wishes, you've been lied to. Inside was a 3-page document made to look like a will. Claimed to override the previous one. Claimed he left the house to her because he realized I was taking advantage of his age and health. The signature? It didn't match. The notary stamp? Crooked and blurry. And the name? Beverly used a fake notary. A real notary's name, but no record of any such document in their registry. Beth ran the info. Nothing legit. Beverly doubled down. She emailed copies to other family members. Told them I stole the house. Said I lied in court. Claimed I forced Grandpa to change his will behind her back. Some people believed her. I started getting cold messages. Can't believe you'd do this. Your grandfather would be ashamed. She poisoned the well. One of my cousins blocked me on everything. Another called me a grave robber. People I hadn't seen in years started treating me like I was dirt. I wanted to go online and post every piece of evidence. The court filings. The original will. The fraud report. The fake Craigslist post. But Beth said not to. Don't fight her in the mud. Document everything. Let her hang herself. Then something happened that made me want to burn her whole world down. One Saturday, I went to the house to do some painting in the back bedroom. When I pulled into the driveway, the gate to the backyard was open. I always lock it. I went around back and saw the screen door swaying. The latch was broken. I went inside and immediately saw it. The photo. That same silver-framed photo of Beverly and Grandpa that I threw in the trash? It was back, sitting on the fireplace mantel, right in the middle, as if she had never left. Then I saw the vase on the side table, one I had thrown out because it was chipped. It was there again. Same crack. Same spot. She'd been inside. I walked every room, every drawer. Nothing was taken, but small things were moved. A kitchen chair pulled out. A light on in the hallway. The mirror in the bathroom had a fresh smudge, like someone leaned in close. I checked the locks. The new ones were fine. No signs of forced entry. Except the side window in the laundry room, open half an inch. She still had a key. Or worse, she made a copy before leaving. I called the police. Filed a report. They said without proof, there wasn't much they could do. Could have been a prank. Could have been a misunderstanding. But they made a note. Beth was furious. She told me to install cameras immediately. So I did. Full perimeter. Motion sensors. One inside, pointed at the front door. Another at the side window. I also changed the locks again. This time, high security ones with restricted keys. Only I could make copies. Then I waited. For nights later, the camera caught it. 1:42 a.m. A shadow near the back gate. A figure in a hoodie stepping into the backyard. Walked right up to the window. Tried to push it open. It didn't move. They stood there for a second. Then left. I couldn't prove it was Beverly. The camera caught the shape, but not the face. But it was her size. Her walk. The way she always turned her head slightly to the left when looking at something. I took the footage to the police. They agreed it was suspicious, but couldn't confirm identity. Still, I got a formal report filed. Beth said we were getting close to harassment territory. That night, I sent Beverly a text. Me, last warning. Cameras are up. Police have the footage. Try it again and I'll get a restraining order. No response. But the Craigslist post disappeared. Then everything went quiet. For a few weeks. Until I got a letter in the mail. From a real estate company. Dear homeowner, it has come to our attention that there is a claim of ownership dispute regarding the property at 302 Briarwood Lane. We have been contacted by a party expressing intent to list the home. Attached was a printed letter. From Beverly. Pretending to be the owner. Claiming I was illegally squatting in her house. And asking the agency to begin a listing contract. She forged a utility bill in her name. Claimed she had tenants refusing to leave. Said she was afraid to confront me in person due to emotional instability and potential violence. The letter had her signature, her phone number, her fake Gmail address. Beth went silent for a minute when I sent her the scans. Then she said she just committed mail fraud. We filed again. This time, civil and criminal. We're still waiting for the court date. She doesn't know I recorded the phone call I had with that real estate agent. Doesn't know I saved the Craigslist messages. Doesn't know I filed a police report on the attempted break-in. I'm sitting on a mountain of proof. And I'm waiting. Because the next time she tries anything, I'm ready. 2 weeks went by. Things were calm. Too calm. Beverly hadn't contacted me. No new fake listings. No mysterious footprints outside. No weird mail from fake buyers. I started thinking maybe she gave up. Maybe the legal pressure finally got to her. I should have known better. Because then my bank account got flagged. It started with a denied payment at the grocery store. Declined. I checked the app and saw a charge from an online interior design service. Then another one for home staging. Then another one from a moving company. All within 24 hours. $4,279 gone. I froze. Called the bank. They locked the account. Started a fraud investigation. I went through the charges with a rep, trying to figure out how it happened. That's when I saw the shipping address tied to the furniture invoice. 302 Briarwood Lane. Someone used my account to order items for the house I already lived in. Except I didn't make those purchases. The name on the invoice? Beverly C. She used my address. My name, but her email, her phone number. Probably figured the purchases wouldn't be flagged if the billing matched the address. She messed up and picked one that pinged my account. She didn't just want to take back the house. She wanted to redesign it, stage it, and sell it while I still lived in it. I sent all the screenshots to Beth. She didn't even say anything for a full minute. Just sighed and said, "We're moving into identity theft now." I filed another police report. This one they took more seriously. Because now it was financial. Meanwhile, I called the moving company listed on the invoice. "Hi, I'm calling about an upcoming service scheduled for 302 Briarwood Lane." The guy checked the records. "Yep, we've got you down for Tuesday morning. Packing and removal. Full service move. Out of state. Out of state. Yep, Delivery address is listed in Durham, North Carolina. I didn't schedule any move. Beverly did. She was trying to get me moved out of the house without my consent. She wanted to show up, or worse, let the movers show up and find me gone. Or asleep. Or not ready. She probably planned to claim I was trespassing, maybe get a locksmith involved. Maybe even show up after they cleared the place and pretend it had been hers all along. So I showed up early Tuesday morning with coffee and a chair on the porch. 8:30 a.m. A big white moving truck pulled up. I walked out to greet them. Explained everything. Gave them a copy of the police report and the court decision on the deed reversal. Told them that if anyone showed up claiming to be the owner, they should call the police immediately. The driver was super cool about it. He said, "We've seen stuff like this before. Family fights. Some wild stuff. Don't worry, we won't touch anything." They left. No one showed up after. No Beverly. No apology. No call. But she wasn't done. She filed an anonymous complaint with Adult Protective Services. Said I was exploiting an elderly man, that I coerced him into signing over the house, and that I was emotionally unstable and unfit to handle property matters. Yeah. She filed a complaint against me over a man who was already dead. I didn't know until two people showed up at the house one afternoon, flashing badges, saying they were following up on a report of elder abuse. They looked confused as hell when I told them Grandpa died almost a year ago. I showed them the will. The court ruling. The stack of legal paperwork sitting in a neat binder by the front door. They apologized and said the complaint would be dismissed. But now I had that in a report too. More documentation. Beth added it to the case file. And then came the twist I didn't see coming. It wasn't just Beverly. She wasn't acting alone. My cousin, her oldest daughter, was helping. I found out when I got a knock on the door one night. This time, from a woman named Laura. She was quiet, maybe late 40s. Said she was a friend of Beverly's niece and wanted to talk to me in private. I was skeptical, but I let her speak. Turns out, Laura was dating Beverly's daughter on and off for a while. She told me they used her laptop to set up the fake email addresses. That Beverly bragged at dinner one night that she found a loophole to flip the house without touching the deed. That her daughter helped her design the fake while using a free online legal template site. And then Laura dropped the real bomb. The day after the moving truck failed, Beverly had tried to contact a local home flipper and offered to sell the house for cash. She said it had tenants who would be leaving by the weekend. Claimed she didn't want anything on paper, just needed the money to move to Florida and start over. She almost got a deal. Cash offer. No inspection. Quick close. Except the flipper got suspicious and asked for title verification. That's when Beverly ghosted him. Laura showed me screenshots. Messages. Voicemails. One of them had Beverly clearly saying, "It's already mine on paper. She just doesn't know it yet. Once it's sold, it's done." Beth nearly threw her laptop when I forwarded it all. We filed again. More fraud. More documentation. And just like that, a simple house in a quiet neighborhood turned into a full-blown legal battlefield. I still live here. Every light has a sensor. Every window has a camera. I keep a binder of documents by the front door in case anyone else shows up. I sleep with my phone on loud. I know she's not done. And I'm not moving. Ever. It all came crashing down the night of the hearing. Not a court hearing this time, this was something else. Family reunion, kind of. My mom called it. She said too many people were confused about what was happening, and too many relatives were believing Beverly's side because they were hearing nothing from me. She asked me to come and tell my truth. I didn't want to go. Beth warned me not to engage with anyone outside legal proceedings. But my mom begged. She said, "You don't have to defend yourself. Just show up. Look them in the eyes and let them decide." So I went. My stomach was in knots pulling up to my Aunt Laverne's house. That's where we always did Thanksgiving. Familiar smell of cigarettes and lemon-scented pine sol. Same recliner in the corner. Same cheap rug. Half the family was there already when I walked in. Cousins. Uncles. People I hadn't seen in years. It was tense. Everyone gave me the kind of smile that stops halfway to the eyes. Beverly wasn't there yet. I stayed near the wall, arms crossed. I didn't want small talk. Then she walked in. Big sunglasses. Long coat. Holding a tote bag full of what I assumed was evidence. She acted like this was her courtroom. Took off her glasses like she was revealing her truth. And right behind her? Her daughter. The one Laura had told me about. The one who helped her fake everything. My mom asked for silence. Everyone sat down. I stayed standing. She started with something neutral. "We've all heard different things. I thought it would be good if we talked it through like family." Nobody spoke. Beverly stood and opened her bag. Pulled out a copy of the fake will. Held it up like it was the 10 Commandments. "This is the real will," she said. Not the forged document she tricked George into signing. A few people murmured. One cousin nodded like it made sense. Then she pulled out a photo of her and Grandpa. You all knew he wanted me to have the house. He told me a dozen times. I interrupted. And yet he never told anyone else? She turned fast. You manipulated a sick old man. Judge disagreed. You lied to everyone. You want sympathy, but you stole from your own blood. I walked forward. Pulled out a stack of printed evidence. Put it on the table. Here's the real will. Signed. Witnessed. Notarized. Accepted in court. She laughed. That document was a trick. You had access to his paperwork. Beth's voice came from the doorway. He also had access to his lawyer. And I'm that lawyer. Heads turned. Beth stepped inside. Blazer, briefcase, the whole deal. She'd come without telling me. My mom must have called her. I wasn't going to speak, Beth said, but since we're standing in a house of lies, I figured I'd clarify. She laid out the facts. The court filings. The forged email addresses. The police reports. She explained how Beverly had used Laura's laptop to create a fake Gmail. How she forged a notary. How she committed attempted fraud by contacting a real estate flipper under false pretense. Then she looked straight at Beverly's daughter. And this person, her accomplice, helped create the documents. Which I have in sworn statements. Dead silence. All the energy drained out of the room. Beverly looked like a statue. Her daughter's face was red. Then someone snapped. It was Uncle Pete. Big guy, voice like gravel. You lied to us? You told us she hacked the will. You said she used Grandpa's pills to make him sign it. Beverly snapped back. He told me he didn't want her to have it. That's what he told me. But he wrote it down, Bev, another cousin said. You don't get to rewrite it just because you didn't like it. Her voice got louder. Shaky. He was confused. He didn't know what he wanted. He changed his mind. He told me. He told me he was going to fix it, he just didn't get the chance. Then, why didn't you go to court with that? I said. She turned to me. Her face red, eyes wild. Because you already had them. The lawyers. The money. Everyone listened to you. Everyone thought you were the good one. I raised 2 kids by myself, worked 2 jobs, never asked anyone for help. And he left everything to you? After all I did? There it was. Not about the house. Not really. Just anger. Pride. Ego. Resentment that Grandpa never told her she was enough. That he picked me, even though I wasn't his child. Even though she was the daughter. She broke down. Her daughter tried to steady her, but she pulled away. She looked around the room. No more support. No nodding. Just blank faces. A few looked away. One cousin walked out. Then she grabbed her bag and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the wall picture tilted sideways. Her daughter didn't follow. Someone laughed, nervously. Someone else said, Jesus. My mom sat down like the air left her lungs. Beth turned to me. You okay? I wasn't sure. I felt hollow. Tired. Sad. Not victorious. Not smug. Just done. I left early. Didn't stay for cake or the awkward attempt to normalize things. Walked to my car and sat there with the engine off. The fallout came fast. Beverly's daughter called me 2 days later. Apologized. Said she was sucked into it. Claimed she didn't know how deep her mom had gone until it was too late. I didn't yell. I just told her I hoped she did better than her mother. Beverly didn't call me. But I heard through my uncle that she moved out of Richmond and was staying with a friend down in Roanoke. Trying to get her life together. I hope she does. As for me, I kept the house. It doesn't feel like it used to. Too many memories mixed with the mess she dragged into it. But I'm fixing it. Slowly, room by room. Repainting the kitchen. Took down all her curtains. Scrubbed out every bit of gray and turned it back to what Grandpa liked. Browns. Greens. Warm colors. It's mine now. I didn't win anything. I just kept what was already mine. But I learned a few things. Family can lie to you harder than strangers. Some people can't stand being second, even if they were never in the race. And just because someone's blood doesn't mean they won't bleed you dry. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. But I don't forget. And I'll never leave the front door unlocked again.